Chris Sutton has dropped a transfer bombshell, claiming Celtic could need to spend over £50 million this summer. We have also got a former Celtic player officially confirming his next move after being linked with O'Neill's backroom staff, a forgotten winger sending a defiant message from the training ground, Kasper Schmeichel landing a cheeky dig at England live on air, and Chris Boyd weighing in on Celtic's first old firm clash of the season. Let's get into it. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Former Celtic player Efrain Juarez was recently linked with a coaching role at the club, but has now made his next move official, closing the door on any prospect of him joining Martin O'Neill's backroom staff. Juarez spent 2 years at Celtic after arriving from UNAM Pumas in 2010. While his time in Glasgow never truly got going, he still made 20 appearances before leaving permanently for CF America in 2012. Since hanging up his boots in 2020, he has quietly built an impressive coaching CV. Assistant roles at New York City FC, Standard Liège and Club Brugge provided a grounding in different football cultures before he stepped into management with Atlético Nacional, where his spell in Colombia lasted only 5 months but delivered both league and cup success. That work earned him a return to UNAM Pumas as manager in March 2025. His next challenge has now arrived in Hungary. Sports outlet ABC Deportes MX shared footage of his unveiling at Hungarian champions Győri ETO as the appointment was confirmed. The only link left to make is that he is raising a green and white scarf in the air, just not a Celtic one. The link to Celtic itself was an intriguing one, with Celtic scout Mark Cooper viewed as a possible connection given his extensive knowledge of South American football and strong links within the MLS market. Instead, Celtic's focus now remains on resolving the shape of O'Neill's coaching team ahead of the new campaign. First-team coach Gavin Strachan has held discussions with West Bromwich Albion, and should he move on, it would bring an end to 6 years at Celtic. Sean Maloney and Mark Fotheringham also played key roles as O'Neill guided Celtic to the double last season, yet discussions over their futures remain unresolved. With the summer transfer window now open, clarity on the coaching staff will be required sooner rather than later. Now for the main story, as Chris Sutton believes Celtic may need to spend up to or more than £50 million this summer, with Martin O'Neill preparing for a major rebuild following his permanent appointment. Sutton praised O'Neill's impact, admitting he did not expect Celtic to win the league from the position they found themselves in during the campaign, but he also pointed to recruitment as the key issue now, with the Champions League qualifier already looming large. Speaking to Sky Sports, Sutton said, "I think it is a different challenge. I mean, Martin worked wonders last season. I didn't see Celtic winning the title from the position which he was put in on a couple of occasions. I mean, the run towards the end of the season was extraordinary. The momentum they got under him, and now he's got the job permanently. But I still think you can't get away from the fact there needs to be a lot of change at Celtic in terms of recruitment. They've got the Champions League qualifier, which is really important. And however exciting it was for Celtic fans to end up getting over the line last season, you know, the final day was so dramatic. But you can't get away from the fact that Celtic, you know, throughout the season, they struggled at times." Sutton also raised the prospect of key players moving on, with Rio Hatate, Dyson Maeda, and Arne Engels all mentioned as possible departures. He said, so, you know, Martin will be looking to, I'm sure, bring players in. It'll be interesting to see who goes out from Celtic. You know, it looks like Rio will go, possibly Dyson and Arne Engels, but you know, they're big players for the team. So who are Celtic going to replace those types of players with? I think that Celtic are possibly going to have to spend, you know, up to or more than £50 million, really, because the squad does need a rebuild. That figure will catch attention, but Sutton's wider point is clear. Celtic cannot afford to lose major players and replace them with projects who need months to settle, especially with Champions League qualification on the line. O'Neill's return brought energy, belief, and a winning run when Celtic badly needed it. The next part of the job is far more complicated, and recruitment will decide whether last season becomes the platform for another strong campaign or a warning that went unheeded. In other news, Michel-Ange Balikwisha has offered Celtic supporters a glimpse of his summer work as the winger looks to put a frustrating first season in Glasgow behind him. While several Hoops players are still involved in international duty or enjoying a short break before reporting back to Lennoxtown, Balikwisha appears determined to make a head start. The Belgian-born winger shared footage on his Instagram story showing him being put through an intense individual training session while wearing a Celtic training top. Celtic finally completed a £5 million move for the former Royal Antwerp attacker last August, after tracking him for well over a year. There was genuine excitement around his arrival, given his strong reputation in Belgium, where he made 145 appearances and scored 30 goals before making the move to Scotland. The reality of his first season at Celtic was very different. Injury setbacks and a lack of rhythm prevented him from making a meaningful impact, and across 14 appearances in all competitions, the 25-year-old failed to find the net and registered just a single assist. Those numbers fell well short of expectations for a player brought in to add competition and creativity in the final third. As a result, questions have naturally emerged over where he fits into Martin O'Neill's plans going forward, or if he is in the frame at all. Celtic are expected to continue strengthening the squad this summer, which leaves Balikwisha facing a significant pre-season as he attempts to force his way back into contention. The winger is under contract until 2030, though he could be one of the next to depart. What is clear is that Balikwisha is not spending the summer standing still. The footage shared this week may only be a small snapshot of his preparations, but it highlights a player determined to change the narrative around his Celtic career. In other news, former Celtic goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel could not resist a dig at England when covering their World Cup opener as part of his new punditry career. Schmeichel was forced to announce his retirement in May due to a shoulder injury that requires further surgery. The 39-year-old had been out of action since February and decided to end his professional career after extensive consultation with surgeons. He joined the Hoops in 2024 and was a mainstay in the side that won the domestic double, adding another Premiership title to his collection this season, where he made 39 appearances before calling time on a 20-year professional career. He has not taken long to settle into punditry duties, appearing alongside former England internationals Peter Crouch and Alex Scott for coverage of England's opening World Cup match against Croatia, which they won 4-2. But Schmeichel could not resist a dig at England for their constant references to winning the tournament in 1966, the only time they have achieved the feat. The game took place at the Dallas Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, who have not won the NFL since 1995, and Schmeichel drew the comparison. Speaking on Fox Soccer, he said, "We're in the Dallas Cowboys stadium. I liken England a little bit to the Dallas Cowboys, a massive, massive team with so much talent, but they won it once, and they've never stopped talking about it. Just putting that out there. Maybe today's the day it changes, I don't know." It is some light-hearted banter from the former Denmark international, who became a Leicester City legend after their incredible Premier League title win in 2016. He made 88 appearances in total for Celtic, keeping 37 clean sheets, and will have no shortage of future punditry gigs given his experience in the game, but perhaps not England games. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.